It is actually Monday, but we'll get to that. I'm Robo. This here's the Rewind. We've kind of hit on the upcoming Walmart Collector Con with the Star Wars Black Series Night Owl and then the Marvel Legends retro carded Prowler. But this ran across my stream the other day, and I have to bring it up. This is the Jazwares AEW Unrivaled Supreme Sting, and I don't collect wrestling figures, and I sure as hell can't keep up. There's just too much. From WWE, AEW, or whoever else. It's just a constant barrage. I can barely keep up with the stuff that I do keep up with. So there we are. But I do watch wrestling itself. You know, the one true real sport out there. I'm kidding. Calm down. I've been a fan since back in the 90s. WCW through NWO running its course and then flipping over to WWE. At least until the turn of the century. That is weird when you say it like that. But Sting has always been my favorite. I had again, I'm not an expert when it comes to wrestling toys, but it was kind of rubbery and statue and vibrating of Surfer Sting and then Crow Sting showing up during those NWO years. And then I went back and watched TNA Joker Sting and finally, we'll skip over that middle part, and AEW Sting doing crazy things, giving me hope that as we get older, I can still do the things I love, you know? Because if he can jump off all those balconies and through tables and stuff, surely I can keep talking about toys until I'm... Well, let's not put a number on that. That's all to say, I dig this figure. I got the Chase Sting with kind of Darby's makeup. I don't have a proper Sting in my display anywhere. So I may have to track this down. This may be the Grail for the Walmart Collector Con when it happens March 14th. They're pushing some kind of sneak peek on the 7th, which is Thursday, which is a couple of days ago by the time you're watching this, but who knows what they'll show there. It may be a lot of stuff that we already know about because the toy companies themselves announcing things. No, we'll swing back around. Because of the way I'm shooting this week's Rewind, I'm only catching early week reveals for McFarlane toys, like the DC Direct Page Puncher's Ghosts of Krypton Wave. We're not talking about the 2-inch figures, because that's what my brain automatically goes to now when I say Page Punchers. We're talking about the 7-inch scale, articulated DC Multiverse figures, but not DC Multiverse figures. It's DC Direct Page Punchers. They're DC Multiverse figures. All the designs are based on the comics that are included. And as a casual fan of DC, I'm not sure if these designs are from actual storylines or if these are specifically for this wave. I should know that, but I'm in a hurry. I'm getting out the door. So I'm not familiar with any of these designs. Although Earth 2 Superman, yes, the blue, the Superman suit, but awful techie. Heavily techie. And it's hard to tell, but I think that same base body is used for this Superman, just with a lot of overlays on top. You can kind of see it around the upper leg area. I think that's the same sculpt. Ghost of Zod seems, well, exactly like that. Zod in green ectoplasm form. Kind of reminds me of older McFarlane figures, like, oh man, now that Wetworks. Was that Assassin 1 in the translucent blue plastic? And I think there was a red variant. A buddy of mine had several of those. The arm kept breaking or something. Was it the leg? Arm? Clear plastic. Ooh. This reminds me of that. I guess because of pants, you know, and some armor, and then exposed upper torso in green instead of those other colors. If you'd shown me this, I would have never guessed it was Zod, except for maybe the Z on the belt. And even then, I would probably be really reaching. Again, lots of tech sculpt, which I guess makes sense because we get to the final figure of the wave and it's full-on killer robot Brainiac. This is the winner for me. This is one of those figures that can pull double or triple duty. You need some kind of threatening mechanized form in your ACBA or your Dio shot or just on your shelf. By the time you're watching this, these are probably already up for pre-order and there's better shots. Scale what all comes with the Brainiac. Yeah. Here are some shots from ZoloCon of some kick-ass figures that will be included in the next Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Kickstarter. We saw some of these at PowerCon last year. Like, I definitely remember the lion guy, and then the blue lizard. That's not taking anything away from those, though. They still look amazing. Same goes for Big Blue and the female. They will go right in with the existing crew. But you know me, I get the tingles when there's something new, when something gets revealed, something we haven't seen before. Although, I do think we saw these digitally at some point. Either way, the fox and I keep fighting the urge to say the hound, the dog, oh, they look spectacular. These are adding something a little different, like the females and the bigger brutes. That fox with the robot arm, oh, that looks sweet. And then kind of a bruiser bulldog. The chameleon may be the most visually striking, though. It's creepy and cute at the same time. It's a common trope, and I may be pulling a lot of this from Abe Sapien, where he scares you at first, just a little, but then you find out he's a gentle scientist type. He's there for his brain. That makes me hope, or at least I can use it for whatever I want, though, that he's a villain type, that he kind of draws you in with that gaze. It's like, what's going on here? And then you find out he collects body parts or something, he sews them back together. And don't think I'm ignoring that female. Again, adding more body types, more characters, just building a whole galaxy of anthropomorphic creatures. I don't remember the big orange lizard, but hey, more the merrier. Bring them all on. The rabbit does spark something in my brain. It's already getting hard to keep up, and this line isn't that old. But I am. That's how it works. But it doesn't matter. Here it is again. Looking great. I don't have all the details for when the Kickstarter will kickstart, but I'm sure we'll talk about all that again when there's more pictures and more info. Let's just stick with the humanoid animals and look at the preview for Wave 3 of Rage Toys Samurai Force. Or, as we like to say, definitely not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but definitely Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from a third-party company. They keep changing names. I was gonna say Fury Toys, but then I remembered, oh, they just showed a not Michelangelo a few weeks ago, and now they're going by Rage Toys. They gotta stay on the move. They gotta stay under the radar. Well, no. Teenage Mutant Ninja, I don't even know what TMNT is. Like they have a safety deposit box full of fake IDs that they have to go to every few months, like, oh, they're almost upon us, boys. We gotta change it. Where are we going? Rage Toys. Looking at the picture, I think it's fairly obvious what's going on here. And it makes sense. We got, was it spring first? And then they started doubling up on the waves. So, not Mikey and not Bebop being Wave 3 sets up Wave 4 perfectly to finish off the main team and then the big beastly types with Raph and Rocksteady. Or did I miss Rocksteady somewhere? I try. I'm trying. And I say finish off, they could make more, but it feels very finite, right? I mean, it's Turtles, it's kind of high profile. The more they sell, the more exposure they get. The more name changes, the more hiding and ducking. So yeah, as long as the Turtles get out there, and then, will we ever see Shredder? Have they done humans? Yeah, no. Anyway, that segues perfectly into official Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles product. Playmates has announced that they will be releasing figures based on the original sketches by Eastman and Laird. Oh, those short, stumpy, chunky limb turtles from before they settled on the actual look in the comics. And then the next look, and then more comics, and different comics, then cartoons, live action, more cartoon, another live action, TV show, comics, cartoons, video games, don't forget about those, stage. There's been a lot of iterations of TMNT, and each company is doing their damnedest to put all the looks out there, and it's win-win for everybody. The companies get to make more turtles and more money, and we have a choice. We can either buy all of it because we love turtles, or we can get our favorite interpretations, or at least several different favorite interpretations. Options are always good, and this is just a different option. These are tempting because, well, it's Playmates, so they should be relatively cheaper, right? I know cheap is an odd term these days, but these should be easy to pick up, or hopefully they'll be easy to pick up, but also because they look great. They're kind of a divergence from what we're used to with turtle figures. I see and I expect muscles and a certain body shape or some variation on that. This goes against that grain. They're squashed, they're not gonna move great, but that's the point. They're very throwbacky. As long as they can do their individual thing and look good in a group shot like this, exactly like this, then hey, I'm happy. In fact, I'm wondering what these would look like next to something like Mattel's Masters of the Universe Origins, where it's very throwback, very vintagey. Yes, because I needed another team of turtles. But yeah, these are cool. And that's all I got for this week. And before we get into why I'm recording this on Monday, which is crazy, 5 days ahead of what I usually do, this may be one of the first weekly / rewinds that I've ever recorded where there's no pre-orders. That's how early I'm catching stuff this week. Not even any solicitations. Seriously, go to the description. No links. Well, there's Big Bad Toy Store, who I partnered up with, so if you want to click that, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, as I'm recording this, it is Monday because we changed which Comic-Con we're going to. We were originally going to Jackson, which is 1 day of setup, 2 days of show. Now we're going to Kansas City, which is 3 days of show and 2 days of setup. So, have to leave on Tuesday afternoon. Which I realize, yes, I'm gonna miss a whole lot of news. You're watching this going, what about this, or this, or this, or this, or this, or this? Swinging back around. We'll do that next week. My goal for this year is to not miss a rewind, even if I am on the road. And it may be tough. And I'm not holding myself to that as a rule, as a law, but it's a fun little goal. We'll see what happens. Speaking of swinging around, though, a few weeks ago I talked about the Super 7 Silverhawks Ultimates Copper Kid, and in my haste to make a joke, I called the Space Racer the Speed Racer. And a lot of you caught that and said, no, what are you talking about? That's the Space Racer. And I'm just over here like, it doesn't matter. The property never existed in the first place. I could call it Speed Racer, I can call it Space Racer, I could call it Speed Buggy, I could call it Spider-Man for all it matters, because we're just trying to put names on things that had no reality to it. I don't know what everybody keeps talking about. Silverhawks was a conspiracy. What happened? What's going on? Who are you? No, wait, no, stop! Special thanks to the Patreon, who I'm considering changing it to a Silverhawks fan club because of the importance of that show and the toy line back in the day. Because it was amazing, and the toys, big part of my childhood. I think my favorite character was I can't remember his name. I don't remember any names. I don't think they didn't exist. They didn't exist.